Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Stihl MS 180C. Now this saw is a saw we've been doing a few videos on. We went through some basic checks if your saw wasn't running well. We also went through and cleaned the carburetor start to finish, walked you guys through that in case your saw still wasn't running well after those first simple checks. So I did all that stuff with you guys. This saw was running really good, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. For really no reason at all, the saw just kind of stopped. It would start and then it would stall. It would start and stall and sputter. And I was thinking, geez, what the heck's going on? You know, we just cleaned the carb. So I'll bring you guys in close so you can see. But what it came down to is having a bad gas line. So the gas line was actually leaking gas and was making it so the saw would not run properly. So today we're going to replace that gas line. I'm going to bring you guys in close so you can get a first-hand view as to what's going on and how to replace your gas line on the MS 180C. Now, replacing the line on the 180C is going to be the same as an MS 180, an MS 170, the 180C. All those saws that are on the same kind of platform, it's basically going to work the same. With that, let's get started. How do I know that it's a gas line issue? One, I can smell gas when I pull the saw over, it's running. Two, you may see gas running down the side here or in other areas, right? Another way is pulling the cover off that I already have removed and looking right down in here in this area. Mine is soaked with gas. It's soaked. I pull it, it gives it enough pressure, gas pumps out. And I know it's a gas line problem. Now, I'm going to show you guys where that break is in just a minute, but we have to be able to remove some things to get in to actually do the repair. So you guys know, like, I've got a new gas line. I went down to my local Stihl dealer and ordered this up right through them. So this should be a direct, exact fit. Now, when you order that, you can also get yourself the gas filter that goes along with the line. I didn't, I kind of forgot to order it, but it's all right. I'm sure my filter's good. We'll just reuse it. You're really only going to need a couple tools here for this little project. Nice long pair of pliers, you know, something that's pretty slender. A scrunch. You're going to need that T27 bit on the end or some sort of wrench with a T27 bit. I believe it's the T27. It's either 25 or the 27. I think it's 27 though. You're also going to need a socket, and it is an 8mm. Now the first thing we got to do is remove the two nuts that hold the air box in place. This is going to give us access to that gas line. Alright, so here we are looking at the back of the unit. Mine's covered in gas. Gas line is here, this black hose. I can see it's covered in gas. I already know I have a leak. We need to remove some of these things to get in here though. First thing, this piece that moves, right, part of that throttle linkage, you're going to want to pop it forward, and there's a rod in there, okay? So you got to mess around with that. Maybe move your carb around a little bit and pull this rod out and set that aside. All right, so everything here is freed up. Now I come down to this black lever. All right, this is your choke, your on and off lever. Go just underneath it, preferably with a flathead screwdriver, but pry up carefully, and that's nice and loose. Okay, so it's out of the way. We could continue to work, but let's undo the other linkage on the other side. And what you can do is it's this piece right here. It'll make a lot of sense when your saw is in front of you if you can't see well in the video. But what you can do is squeeze the trigger and you'll see this piece go down. Hold it down, let go of the trigger, and this rod just pops off to the side. This frees up the carburetor, but it also frees up this black plastic rod in here, okay? Give that a little bit of twist, move that to the side. Basically got to remove all these components in order to get to this gas line. So we also are going to have to remove the carburetor. Now, I forgot to mention, guys, I've already drained the gas. I already drained the gas from my unit. If you haven't done that, do that first. Sorry, we skipped a step. I take the pliers, go in, grab one side of the piece that's in here, and pop it out. Then dump your gas out, reuse it, get rid of it, whatever. Depends on how old it is. You know, I had just some fresh gas, so I will be reusing it. But if yours is old, get rid of it. We're also going to take them long pliers while we're right here. So we don't really need to do anything else on the top side at the moment. Grab our gas line. And boom, there's our gas filter. Now be careful, all right? Keep your eyes guarded. Have safety glasses. Be out of the way. This can spit gas at you sometimes. We're going to remove this filter, though. Just pops right off like that. Tuck our line back in. This filter does have some crud. Like I said, when you order your line, order a new filter. I forgot to get one, so I'll end up reusing it. Save yourself a headache later, though, because if yours is bad, now's the time to replace it, right? Gas cap's off. So our carburetor's here, and it's freed up from the work we did a minute ago. We are going to slide it straight back. You see our gas line right here. With our carburetor spun and now facing us, we're able to just push that back. Now that gas line can burp at you, spit a little bit of gas out sometimes, so just keep that in mind. All right, guys? Don't want that to happen to anybody. Now, with that out, what I would like to see is if we could just pop this bad boy out. So I'm just pulling my gas line up very carefully. Okay. Now, how did I know this gas line was bad? Because honestly, I looked at it before I removed the carb, which I forgot to show you guys. Sorry. Right here. So when this sits, it sits this way. All right, this piece goes into the carb. If it's all in together, you can undo it and flip it over this way. Mine has a bunch of checking and a bunch of holes just from wear. It's rubber. It wears out, it rots. And these little holes, tough to see on camera, but these little spots that just look like rough rubber spit gas out. Once the saw starts sucking fuel, gas spits out of these all over. So, bad line. Turn this bad boy over. And we need to remove this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, and our oil cap. Now you can drain the oil if you want, or just leave it in. I'm going to leave it in, and I'm just going to remove the cap. We still have to pull the cap out, same way we did the gas one. Grab it with the pliers. Pull it out. Okay. This is where that bit comes in. I want to say it's the T27, guys. Got to get in here, though, and remove those 4 bolts. Now, once those are all loosened up completely or even removed, we should be able to take this whole piece right here and pop it up. We do have to take the brake lever off. Kind of pull it. Let's pop the brake lever on so it loosens it up. Or off, I mean. Pop this up and over. Now we should be able to grab our start and recoil. Starter, recoil. Alright, pull this completely off. Alright. Now, this gas tank pulls right out. Okay. There is our gas tank. This is also a good time to look in there. If there's junk in there, rinse your tank out with a little fresh gas and clean it out, okay? It's a good time to clean it up. There's a little bit of junk in here, so I'm going to clean this one out. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I rinsed the tank out with some fresh gas, got that cleaned out. I wiped out the inside really quick with any gas that was in there and wiped the tank off. Now we want to take our new line and install it in our tank. As you can see, we got some ribs here, 1, 2, 3. All right, that is the top side. This is the side that will go to your carburetor. So that means this bend goes into your tank. Now, this rib needs to be all the way through the tank, and the tank should fill the gap between the two ribs, the plastic of the tank, all right? So you got to play around with that. Can be a little tricky. It's in. See how it sits flush? Try not to use a screwdriver to press it in or anything like that. Chances are you're going to rip the hose and you'll have to redo the job. With the saw on its side, you can now take your tank, pop it in place, pull the hose back, slip it underneath, and now it's ready to go right to the carburetor. Let's take our starter recoil. Get this bad boy back in place. Put your brake lever back over this. Put all your screws in, put your oil cap on, put your gas cap on. We'll grab our long pliers carefully, not pinching too hard. We don't want to rip the line we just installed. Pull our line out a little bit. Push the hose on till it's flush. Put your filter back in. Then just make sure that it's down in the lowest point. Sometimes they'll stay bent. That's all together. Flip the saw back over. Let's grab our carburetor. Remember, this brass tube should be facing you. So pull the gas line out of the way there. Slip your carburetor on a little bit. Bring it forward. Now you can either mess around with trying to put that gas line on right now like this, or before you put the carburetor on, pop your gas line on your carburetor, okay? It can be a little bit tricky. Camera's in my way from seeing anything, but get that gas line on our carburetor. Twist that back around. And slip that back in place. Okay. That metal rod connected to the trigger, lift that up out of the way. Take that black plastic rod, put it through the hole over here. Now this could just pop down, but there's a little metal flange right here. And you kind of mess around with that a little bit. The rod's got to be in all the way. You're not going to push down hard. You can break off this tab this rests in, okay? So be careful doing that, but everything pops back in the way it was. Take that throttle linkage rod over here, push that little piece back down. A little bit easier when the choke is all the way up or off position almost. Get that hooked back up. Okay. Get the other choke rod. There is a small hole in this black piece. There's a small hole in this black piece, and this will actually slip inside just a little bit. See? Fits. Take this, pull that forward, move your carb a little bit if need be. Everything's back where it should be. Once that's on, you take your air filter box, put that on. Take those two 8mm nuts. Put your cover back on. Once you put fresh gas in the unit, it's time to fire it up. Normally we would take this outside, but it's getting dark out. I want to be able to do it in here just so you guys can see. For you, and when you do this, take it outside the shop, outside the garage, so you can fire it up and not have to deal with the fumes and things like that. Now I'm going to put this on full choke. This may take a few pulls, because you have to keep in mind we pulled the carburetor, we undid the line. It's just got to work its way back up through. It popped. We'll go up to half choke, which is 1 click up. Cool. Well, that's it, guys. I can tell you right now, replacing the gas line, that was my problem. It already, that little bit, already running better than what it was due to the spit and sputtering and lack of fuel that I was getting earlier. So pretty happy with that. Hopefully you guys are able to do this this fix yourself. You know, it's pretty easy. It's really not too bad. I'll try to leave links to tools down below. You guys purchase through those links to help support the channel. I really do appreciate it. Also, be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how this video helped you out. But when you guys hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit all so you don't miss any future uploads. You guys can also keep an eye out for this chainsaw, as I'll be using it for some chainsaw carving in the future, and you guys will be able to see how it's running and how it's working for me. Really do appreciate you guys watching. Really hope the video helped you guys out. Check out some videos popping up, and I'll see you guys later.